Recorded Books presents Stolen Moments by Clifford Spud Johnson. Narrated by K. Bernard. Prologue. Petty Officer 3rd Class Razier Coleman sat outside of the captain's office on board the USS Enterprise awaiting his fate. He was a nervous wreck. Not only because he knew that his brief 2-year stint in the United States Navy was about to end abruptly, but also because he feared the wrath of his mother when he told her he had been kicked out of the Navy, all because of his tender dick. Sadly, he shook his head as he thought back to the very first day he set eyes on the drop-dead gorgeous Senior Chief Carmy Felton. He was a fresh recruit at the Naval Academy boot camp in Orlando, Florida. He just finished his rigorous routine and was headed back to the barracks to shower and take a much-needed nap when Senior Chief Felton walked by him looking incredibly sexy in her starched white naval uniform. As she passed him, he couldn't help but admire the firm ass she was packing and how good it looked in that snug uniform. Damn, she is one badass woman. A senior chief at that. Boy, would I love to get balls deep in that right there, he thought as he continued to stare at the officer, not paying any attention to her returning his stare over her shoulder. When she suddenly came to a stop and turned around, he knew he was busted. Uh-oh, he thought. "Do you have a problem with those reckless eyeballs, Petty Officer?" asked the senior chief. No, ma'am. Please excuse me. I meant no disrespect. It's just that, where I'm from, I was taught to give praise where praise is due." She smiled at him and laughed. "So by staring at my ass, you were giving me, or should I say, my ass, praise?" Figuring he couldn't get into any more trouble than he already would be in, he decided to see if he could flirt his way out of this jam. He smiled and said, "Both. You are a beautiful woman, and your body is mesmerizing, ma'am. Please accept my most sincere apologies if you feel offended. You do know that I'm a senior officer, and I could have you brought up on formal charges for such actions? You do understand that, Petty Officer?" "Yes, ma'am, I do." "I'm also a woman, and all women love to receive compliments, especially from handsome young men in the armed forces. So, I'll let this little mishap slide by me this time. Don't let it happen again. Am I understood?" "Yes, ma'am," he said, and gave the senior chief a salute. She returned his salute, turned, and started walking away. She had taken no more than 10 steps when she stopped, turned around, and caught Petty Officer Coleman still staring at her ass. She laughed and shook her head as she turned and continued on her way. With a smile on his face, Petty Officer Coleman turned and went to the barracks, thinking that if he ever had the opportunity, he would have the senior chief bent over and serving her some of his good dick. That thought made him laugh aloud as he entered the barracks. That had been more than 2 years ago, and now as he sat outside of the captain's office waiting for his captain's massed hearing, he knew that that day had come back to haunt him big time. All because of his tender dick issue. His mother always told him that his lack of dick control would be the end of him. Mothers know best. The day Petty Officer Coleman was assigned to the USS Enterprise was one of the proudest days
Sample complete. Ready to continue?